What about deadlines? Can we? Okay, so this is like a therapy session. Is why it seems like I only get stuff done that has deadlines, and so the one of the implied powerful things about time blocking is there's a kind of deadline, or there's a artificial or real sense of urgency. Do you think it's possible to get anything done in this world without deadlines? Why do deadlines work so well?
Well, it's a clear motivational signal, but in the short term, you do get an effect like that in time blocking. I think the strong effect you get by saying this is the exact time I'm going to work on this is that you don't have the debate with yourself every 3 minutes
Right.
about should I take a break now? Right? Like this is the big issue with just saying, I'm going to go write. I'm going to write for a while and that's it because your mind is saying, well, obviously we're going to take some breaks, right? We're not just going to write forever. And so why not right now? And you have to be like, well, not right now. Let's go a little bit longer, 5 minutes. Like, well, why don't we just take a break now? Like, we should probably look at the internet. Now you
Yeah.
have to constantly have this battle. On the other hand, if you're in a time block schedule, like I've got these 2 hours put aside for writing. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I have a break scheduled over here. I don't have to fight with myself, right? And maybe at a larger scale, deadlines give you a similar sort of effect. Is I know this is what I'm supposed to be working on because it's due.
Perhaps, but what you're describing is a much healthier sort of giving yourself over. And you talk about this in the new email book is the process. I mean, in general, you talk about it all over. Is creating a process and then giving yourself over to the process. But then you have to be strict with yourself.
Yeah. But what are the deadlines you're talking about? So like with papers, like what's the main type of deadline work?
Well, so papers definitely, but publications like say this podcast. I have to publish this podcast early next week. One because your book is coming out. I'd love to sort of support this amazing book, but the other is I have to fly to Vegas on Thursday to run 40 miles with David Goggins, and so I want this conversation we're doing now to be out of my life.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be in a hotel in Vegas,
Yeah.
like editing freaking out while David Goggins is yelling
On hour 43 of your marathon
Exactly.
thing that you're doing.
But actually, it's possible that I still will be doing that, because that's a softer deadline, right? But those are sort of life imposes these kinds of deadlines.
Yeah.
Papers are nice because there's an actual deadline.
Yeah.
But I am almost referring to like the pressure that people put on you. Hey man, you said you're going to get this done 2 months ago. Why haven't you gotten it done?
I don't like that pressure.
Yeah.
So maybe now, first of all, I think we can all
I hate it too.
we can agree, by the way, having David Goggins yell at you is probably a top productivity technique. I think we would all I think we'd all get a lot more done if he was yelling. But see, I don't like that. So I will try to get things done early. I like having flex. I also don't like the idea of this has to get done today, right? Like it's due at midnight and we've got a lot to do, and it's the night before, because then I get in my head about, well, what if I get sick? Or like, what if I get a bad night's sleep and I can't think clearly? So I like to have the flex. So I'm all process. And that's like the philosophical aspect of that book, Deep Work, is that there's something very human and deep about just wrangling with the world of ideas. I mean, Aristotle talked about this. If you go back and read the Ethics, he's trying to understand the meaning of life. And he eventually ends up ultimately at the human capacity to contemplate deeply. It's kind of like a teleological argument. It's the things that only humans can do, and therefore it must be somehow connected to our ends. And he said, ultimately, that's where he found his meaning. But he's touching on some sort of intimation there that's correct. And so what I try to build my life around is regularly thinking hard about stuff that's interesting. Just like if you get a fitness habit going, you feel off when you don't do it. Yeah. I try to get that cognitive habit. So it's like, I mean, look, I have my bag here somewhere. I have my notebook in it because I was thinking on the Uber ride over, I was like, I could get I'm working on this new proof. And so you train yourself to appreciate certain things. And then over time, the hope is that it accretes.